No, just turn off the presenter.
I think we don't need it because we're not going to present it.
Okay.
All right, cool. Yeah. Hey guys, we're just here to talk and whoever has any question regarding AI, I think the three of us have a very different way to use it. I'm Bogi, I'm co-founder of Spazio Fonte. I do photography, I direct videos, and I do art direction in my project. That's Christian.
I'm Christian. I do visual arts, visual design with AI. Also work with some art direction, both like images, videos, etc. So I usually use AI mainly for visual things.
And I am Vito. I didn't create a formula to explain what I do in life, but basically I have a company which I implemented AI in big fashion brands since 2017, and I did a lot of things in a lot of different industries because I think now this tool is giving you freedom, freedom also to space in life and in the world. So I'm using it as myself.
What are some of the most exciting ways that you're using AI?
So I have plenty. Basically, I feel like my favorite, for example, is creating the spaces that I dream, so that I used to write my dreams. Now I visualize them, but it's pretty specific. The thing is, everything I do really is inspiring me because I choose a life that's about freedom. So every day, maybe the thing that inspires me the most is the fact that we have so many news in the world, which is in the world of AI, which are insane. Like the things that came out last week could have me working and trying to discover the tips and tricks for like months. And I know that actually it's right now Google is having the new presentation of I/O, which is they're gonna drop something huge. Actually, it's really right now. I'm hyped as well. Yeah. So no, I like also what the guy said before. I actually have the column in front of me, so I didn't really see. But the thing is, I really agree on what he said about the soul, about the fact that you are God. So I live like that. I live like I can envision things and create them, and then to live, I often sell it to brands. Or to use things, Now I had a video at the Biennale in Venice, which is nice, but still wasn't like my real purpose on my storytelling. But so when I'm not doing that, I'm working for brands or doing other things. Sorry, but you go back.
No.
What are yours? Also, I'm curious of yours, Bobby, because you're a photographer.
Yeah. So when AI came really especially into fashion and we started to see lookbooks happening and I was like, fuck, but then I was like, like all the great artists I've always liked, because I'm really into rap music and music as a whole. First you had sampling and people were shitting on that. Then you had you had autotune and people were shitting on that. But all the great artists that I always liked, they said you should never look down on what's new. And we saw that a lot of the OGs, when the trap came and became big, they were like, no, that's shit, or these guys, they don't know. And then it became the biggest thing, and it's one of the things that made rap music become one of the most popular genres in the world. So I was like, before I start saying bad things about AI, let me first figure it out and learn how to use it, and then I can decide, okay, I want to use it or I don't want to use it. But I can't have an opinion on something I don't know how to actually use and be really good at. So I closed myself in the office for a few days, and I started writing prompts and researching how to create an image, and I was like, fuck, that's actually really hard to, it's very easy to make tralalero, tralala type of thing, but also it's not, it's easy to create that type of aesthetic, but it's not an easy thing to do. The guy that made Italian Brain Rot is a genius. It's something that's had infiltrated Instagram in such a strong way, and you're like, that's silly, and again you can be like, but anyone could do that. Yeah, anyone could do a Lucio Fontana could do, but they can't actually. So it's one of those things that that type of aesthetic, it's not hard to do, but if you want to create something that doesn't look like immediately it's made by AI, you had to put time, especially like a few years ago when I started to do that. And then I was like, it's actually hard. And then slowly I figure out how to do it. And I was like, okay, I like that. And then I figure out when I'm about to do a photo shoot for a brand or an artist, instead of pulling references of other photographers, I can spend a week creating a mood board that's my images. I can feed my past work, or I can feed different reference in it, and then prompt it, and just make that mix of things that then, when you have a mood board, it's your own image. It's not the reference we've seen over and over and over in every brand's office. And then the brand is like, yeah, but after we're doing that, which was never the idea. Like if I present a mood board, it's just idea. I'm never gonna replicate. At least that's not how I operate. I'm never replicating the image we have in a mood board. It's just a vibe, and then we do our own spin-off. But now I can envision exactly what I want to bring to life, make that image, and be like, hey, most probably we're going to end up with something that's very similar to that, but that's my own image. So that's how I use AI. I don't use AI as an art form. I don't post my AIs. It's just something completely for my own purpose of research, which is very different from what Christian is doing, because he's making, he just had a huge campaign in Shanghai, right? Shanghai?
Yeah, it was an installation for Gucci.
For Gucci. So his way of using AI is actually as an art piece, and he spends hours and hours of refining exactly how he wants it. So it's not a random prompt that, that's the campaign. It's
No, I'm actually working a lot more than before when I wasn't using AI. That's I thought it would save me a lot of time. Actually, did the opposite, because the more, as you get results, you want to dive deeper. So, AI helps you with, removing all your doubts, the what ifs, I don't know, if you have an image, what if this image was shot on a beach or whatever. So you can try whatever you want. But at the same time, if you're not seeing all these results maybe gives you the idea you can do that infinitely, and it often happens, so you end up working more than before maybe. But at the same time, it's super exciting, because for both the reasons they said, I kind of agree with both of them. First of all, the thing that you can show your ideas concretely, I was never very good with words, describing a visual idea with words, and being able to show it, maybe already a video or something, it's crazy. It's still blowing my mind, even if it's 2 years, 3 years that you can do that pretty much. Also because I did a lot of jobs before doing visual design, etc. I also worked as a photographer. I worked as a product developer for an Off-White brand. So I was jumping between different things. AI basically wrapped everything together and gave me the possibility to do whatever I want. So now I'm using AI maybe not even 2 years. I started working with AI, but it already gave me the possibility to work with Gucci or do visuals for a huge stadium, for a concert. So it's things that I couldn't dream of before, and now they're possible. Also thanks to the technology. Of course, it's not all about the technology, but and also it's very useful for everyday tasks. You maybe underestimate, but writing an email or sending an invoice and sending it, I would lose hours just understanding how to write formally something. Now it's it's not a problem anymore. I can focus on other things.
And so what you're saying, right now Google is going to drop something that's probably going to change everything. Me and him, every few months, something new would be and we're oh, fuck. And we start losing our mind. That's actually kind of scary, but it's also amazing, because it evolves so fast. It's something that when I started, maybe a year or two ago to experiment, now it's completely different game.
I was doing something before there, he came and showed me something that was wow, man, just blow my mind.
So it's non-stop evolving super fast.
Yeah, no, in fact, I feel in 2 years, maybe 3 years. Of course, in 10 years, things are going to be strange, but it's all gonna be a mirror of what's inside of you. So if I can say something, the only thing that I would say, I mean, everything they said, I was like, I wish I said. But the most important thing, in my opinion, is at the end of the day that things are going to change so much, and the power of the human mind always has been the one to imagine. And there are two types of light in the world. One in which you see me now, and the second one in which you can see a pyramid, a red pyramid with a monkey. You zoom in on the monkey says, "I." You saw it. And the thing is, that's the astral light. And that's the light of your imagination, the light of your soul, in a way. And brands, campaigns are doing advertisings and logos, which are sigils, payoffs, which are magic formulas, like abracadabra, and campaigns, which are like rituals, to occupy your astral light. And I feel like you need to try to own it again. So, in the age of acceleration, my art name, my company name is 700% like acceleration. But I'm a big fan of paradoxes, so my suggestion is to slow down and to meditate a lot. Because when you can find like guided meditations on YouTube here and there, but if you can stay silent inside of you, what's natural and authentic inside of you is gonna arise. And from now on, you're gonna have tools to just make it be a thing for real. So if you're imagining in a world that's corrupted by all of the shit that we know is going on, you're gonna create on a lower frequency. If you know who you are and you create in those terms, the world is yours. But to know who you are, you really need to make silence in a world of noise. And that's something that I feel is gonna be real even in 30 years. Even in
Yeah, speak up. You
300
can
years.
speak, like everyone can speak up.
Yeah,
I just had a question in mind, and you answered it a bit already. When you were starting to talk about dreaming and writing down your dreams, immediately to my mind came one of my favorite artists, who's Hayao Miyazaki, and what he did was Studio Ghibli. And as we might be aware, he's completely against AI, and he says it takes away part of the creation. What I'm asking you is that, like, what I can see now is that a lot of my colleagues in uni and a lot of people, whenever they start doing something, a new project, they immediately start to envision everything imagery, let's say. What I'm asking you is, like, how can we achieve, using it as a tool, yes, which I completely agree with, but preventing it from becoming like the main source of our inspiration in a way.
Of course. I mean,
Because I feel like that's the problem that like a lot
this
of
is
creators
nice.
are facing.
So if you ask me this question in Italy, it's nicer than if you asked me this in the middle of nowhere, because the main thing from now on is your culture.
True.
Like the way you make your brain used to beauty, that's really important, Of course, AI, like basic Google images or basic, you name it, is gonna propose you a lot of shit. The more you dig, the more you're gonna find your niches and so on. And the businesses of the future are gonna all be around niches.
Yeah.
Because, like they said, that Zara is never gonna be even able politically to show the graphic that you wanted on your T-shirt. So, really now the thing is, like the yin and yang, you need to go a lot inside and a lot outside. But the outside, you're gonna look for inspiration. It's gonna need to be culturally high and relevant. And you're in the right place at the moment. So, yeah.
And also, I don't think any of the work, at least what we produce, I can speak for us, it's driven from references that you find on Pinterest or something like that. It comes from speaking first and foremost with friends. That's why Spazio Font exists. During the week, we're around 10 to 12 people here, and it's a constant exchange of ideas. And did you watch that? Did you hear that music? Did you that new book I got from a Paris bookstore? Like, so first it comes, at least for me, from there. Then it comes music and movies, and then the main thing for me, it's travel. Like, you could never pull up a reference from Pinterest that has the smell of that apartment I visited in Tenerife or Morocco, or now I found out I fucking love Amlou, which is a thing from Morocco. But all of these things, like, you could never like find on Pinterest. You can never smell it or feel it or have that vibe that then I want now. Like, I know, okay, I want to give this vibe to that campaign, and I can only make it really happen if I shoot on location there. So AI, it's basically me and my own experiences putting there, but its inspiration never starts there. Like, obviously you can start a campaign and you can present it to a client through Midjourney or Sora or whatever, but what you feed there, it's like, if we have one task, the three of us, what we're gonna show you after an hour of prompting is gonna be three completely different things. And yeah, I think that's a big thing.
I agree, but I was thinking that maybe we were born like before the age of AI.
Also,
like,
yeah.
I derive my inspiration and my ideas from basically all my experiences from my life and my passions for movies, for books, etc. I don't know, sorry, I'm the low vibration guy. I don't know in like 10 years if it's gonna change, like for people that are born with this kind of new way of consuming images and references. I don't know.
That's really low vibration.
No, but that's why it's also our, so go to Chris, it's our also task to inform, like, because we teach courses in YED and and Raffles, so we have students, and it's our task when we speak to people that were younger than us, that our mentors did for us. It's like, hey, like, find what you love, find passions, travel, speak with people, learn different cultures, language, whatever, because that's what's gonna also make difference in the future. Like, all of the kids that are gonna grow up on iPads, I see it with my own eyes. I have now friends in Bulgaria that, or even here, that have kids that are 4 years old, and the two families raise the kids completely different. One is growing up on an iPad and watching cartoons non-stop on repeat. The other is traveling to the mountains, to the sea, throwing rocks, going in muddy puddles, and and then you see how different both of these kids are. So in the end, we're gonna have both of the worlds, but the actual tastemakers and people making change in the future are gonna be the kids that travel and touch sand and get muddy clothes. It's at least that's what I think.
Yeah, I also love nerds.
Yeah.
The garage thing.
Yeah.
Now it's gonna be. Nerds stink and they roll like that because they actually needed to program, all of this. And now it's gonna be a thing of the past. Like, monks wrote books in the past, and every time I liked your book, I was like, can I stay here 6 months? And then copied it. And the thing is, now it's a thing from the past. Now everybody can write in 1 second. So everybody's gonna be able to do things very fast. But I'm defending also the way in which you can travel without exiting the door, like ancient monks and a lot of other people said. I mean, I love traveling, but at the same time, I feel like it's better to travel when you're grounded, when you know who you are. Otherwise, you continue to diluire yourself.
Yeah, I was going to ask, like, speaking about collective references, how much of that are you crafting your own data sets to build your own?
I feel like that's my really, like, in Harry Potter where there's Silent, the guy, Dumbledore, which puts his memories inside everything. I'm like that every night. I'm like, okay, this is something I really, really believe. And I said it to my friend at dinner, but then I go home and I'm like, you motherfucker, you better know this shit. And the thing is, really, this treasure is what in the moment when you're gonna have the new technologies that are gonna arrive in 5 years, you just insert your memories and you're gonna have movies generated in your own state, which is gonna be also a bad thing in a way because you're gonna have advertising based on you really calling you in the way your mom used to call you, you know. You're gonna be like, Nike, of course. And okay, mom, Nike. And the thing is, we are better know who we are and use this power for the good because these technologies can start to eat you from the inside and you're gonna be like a Sith in Star Wars, eaten by a machine. Otherwise, you're gonna be a Jedi, so a free thinker, a powerful warrior, because you're still gonna need to have the guts in the future, and with a blue sword, no? Using technology, or with a soul. Also because now I did a thing for Nike as well in Miami.
They already.
Yeah, no, but I'm a Trojan horse, you know. I did this thing. They were like, wrap a Rolls Royce for the Art Week in Miami, and I was like, okay. And I dedicated it to Franco Battiato, which is the most mystic Italian songwriter of our history, which at some point got friends, not converted, but with Islam, specifically with Sufism, which is the mystic part of Islam. And his teacher was this man called Gurdjieff, and he used to say a thing that also Plato used to say, and also Hinduists used to say, which is that you are a chariot, your body is a chariot, you have horses, which are your spirit, your energy, all of that, your emotions, and then you have the coachman, which is your brain. The brain makes sure everything is correct. But all of these fuckers are working for the princess, which is inside, and Battiato called this most famous album La Voce del Padrone, the voice of the owner, because he was talking about this voice, which is the same voice that makes the prince fight a dragon, enter a castle to save a princess, which is silent. The princess inside of the chariot doesn't know how to drive the chariot. They never teach the queen how to drive the chariot. She's like, I just want to drink tea at my cousin's place, you know, you better get me there. And the thing is that your brain, your horses, and your chariot are better gonna serve you for that deeper intention. Otherwise, if you have free coachmen, if your coachman decides that he wants to go to the pub, or if you don't have horses, you have everything but no horses, or you have everything and no chariot, or you have like the princess outside in the place of the horses. And that's when a person is too idealistic, you know. You need to have a soul and to protect it, and that's what Jedi does. You know, they have a soul and then they protect it. They have this word for that. Also, the idea of Jesus being a hippie is fake. He said that he didn't bring peace; he bring a sword. And also, the Bhagavad Gita, which is the Bible, the Hinduist Bible, starts with a war. And I mean, our world is never gonna be a place with no wars, unfortunately. But it's the amount of purity that you maintain in a state of fear that really determines how you evolve in your, like they said before that we are all gods. And planet Earth is like a school for gods, in a way. And it is like a gym. Like gods normally get relaxed, they love, they do whatever the fuck they want. To do it in a planet like this one, where everything is harder, it's like you can move in real life, but if you go to the gym to move with weights, it's harder. But if you can create love, relax, and what else gods do, I don't know. But if you can do it here, it's gonna be easier to do it outside. So I think with AI to create is gonna be still hard, but softer than we used to be because we're like graduating as young gods. We used to be at elementary school. Now with all of these tools we're getting to middle school, you know.
I think he answered quite well. No, I agree a lot with
Cool.
this.
But we are the same thing. We are the Club Dogo logo.
No, I agree.
We're Italian rappers.
Then days at the forum, baby, sold out. Anyone
Using
has
the
any
design for
yeah.
them. So.
I had a question for you guys. I think like a lot of us here, like you said, like we've been in a pre-AI space working, and like AI is now kind of a faster, like you said, journey of like a transmutation tool, to bring about what you want to see. I feel like there, like you guys mentioned, you guys all have different modes and methods of doing that. In the same way, like, you know, growing up, like whether you learned Photoshop in a school and you went to art school and they taught you how to do something with one quick hotkey. Versus like me, I like Frankenstein to have 30 layers and I merge layers. That's how you get it.
Let's go.
And so like in a way of like now AI has allowed you to do that in a much faster pace, or like there's a now one user journey in doing that, but it allows you still the freedom and less of like a visual guideline of doing that and clicking and merging groups and blending options. Now it's linguistic based.
Yeah.
And so for you guys, I want to like ask like, what does that look like in, you know, key markers? I know Karen just talked about like data that people are using with the AI to like Doji just raised like 14 million to like put you in essence, you know, e-com shot. And so what is the data that they're getting $14 million today for the next year and a half to figure out?
You know, I was thinking about this because I just started my company now. And I really was like, if I cannot create something that, you know, in the best option in the old world, if it works, then Facebook copies it or Instagram copies it, like the story.
Or they just buy it straight up.
Yeah, now you use maybe the API of a big ChatGPT or Gemini. You create something, and when they see that it works, they're like, we got it from now. And if it doesn't work, it's just your shitty project that never started. So I was like, what can really get me to a state in which I am unreplaceable? And I feel like to really focus on the cultural side of things, on the it's strange. I mean, there are things that I do that only I can do, and I know what they are, and I know that I can build something. And it took me a lot to find what it was. I didn't finish the story. Basically, I needed to do, because I forgot, but I needed to do this wrap for this Rolls Royce, and I did it like the chariot. So I wrote coachman where the driver was. I wrote horses in the front and princes in the back and chariot on the side. And the thing is, we really need to have that approach, and we really need to make our soul move in a noble way. And I feel like the future is gonna really be in your intellectual property, but not even intellectual, in your soul property. And at some point, we're not even gonna need money, probably. It's strange to say, it's controversial. Not even, I mean, these are gonna be strange years. That's why I want to focus on the ethics of all of these things, on the moment also in the history of art that we are experiencing now, because if Andy Warhol was alive now, he would have been like at least interested in
1000%. The factory was kind of an AI. He had like a full blown up factory for making artworks. It was the AI before AI.
I'm excited as fuck, but the thing is, this is going to generate a lot of crazy evil stuff. So, for example, you can drop a drone with bombs that's completely automated and completely invisible, you know, and create like new kinds of terrorism with this shit. This is really why I focus on like
The good one.
the good part of the story on jihadism. But the thing is, now a lot of things are going to be automated. A lot of things are going to be eaten by the bigger companies. When they invented the Art Deco in the 900s and early 900s, it was because they invented the industries for the first time, factories and shit. And people were like, okay, I can kill whatever I want, and I can select any shape, anything, but I don't know how to draw or let's call an artist. And they called the artists actually because they knew how to draw. And they were like, draw me a table, draw me the metro of Paris, draw me. And at that point, the signature became not the way in which a painter became famous for his paintings, but the core style. You know, that's where they created the totalitarian maybe is a Nazi word. the total art in Italian is arte totale, I think, and it's a way in which you can design a cup of coffee, but also you can design a street art. And this is going to be the way in which you as a designer, you as a creator, are going to need to be perceived as a style, you know, as a. And I'm defining mine as something that's like an old grandfather, but in 2070s. You know, it's gonna be strange. And gonna be a granny, you know, but flying.
Okay.
You go. No need for.
I loved your Star Wars comparisons because that's exactly my sphere, and I feel like, you know, talking about Sith and, for example, AI being binary, you know, only 0, only 1. We know only the Sith think in like extreme ways, you know.
Yeah.
I completely understand what you mean. You understand maybe what I mean. My problem sometimes is that we are not all nerds, and we're not all geeks, you know.
But this is your moment to shine, baby.
Also, it's just like for me, you know, like we here in this room, having like this sense of being creative and like asking these deep questions, we can communicate, you know. But for me, the consumer, that maybe in the end will be the one buying all our products or buying like being a part of our community, might not understand what we are saying, you know. So my question is a bit not so much AI related, but how would you like make the transfer to also make like people who are not so deep and so like maybe criticizing and asking those questions, making understand your
So I think bees don't lose time explaining to mosquitoes that honey is better than shit.
Very wise.
Truth is gonna come out.
Yeah.
Can I have some water, bro?
Well, that's the point of this talk. Like after this, the idea is that we're gonna put this into a very formal report. It's not an Instagram. It's just like bound paper that you can send to your more corporate clients. Say, guys, this is what we talked about. I think this page 3, this section could be interesting to what you're doing in this segment. If this is interesting to you, give us a call.
Yeah,
I know it's because, like, you know, if you're creative, you can look at an Instagram and be like, this guy was on this 3 years ago, and you get it. But, you know, but there's also a whole nother part of the people that are likely paying their checks.
But also-
that don't have that sensibility. So this is like just like a historical moment that they can wrap their head around. And they can see, okay, they were talking about these terms on this day, so it seems they can be legit. Yeah, maybe we should at least have a call, you know, and then you got to do the rest from there. But at least I like to think this report can help open doors to, some more corporate guys that can pay our rent.
also like come from like a world of finance bureaus, let's say. And if I talk to them about like what we are talking here,
Yeah, of course, they
No, but
just.
Peter was a finance bro on Wall Street, and he decided to say, fuck it, I'm gonna learn how to make shoes by hand and move to Italy. And, you know, but also something, back to your question, that's something Virgil always used to say, it's a world of purists and tourists, and the people that really make it are the ones that can talk to both of these communities, you know, there's always people that really understand what you're asking, and there's some that don't, and that's the trick. Like that's why not everyone is making it, or everyone makes it that commercial passes, because it's not easy, and that's the trick for how you communicate.
No, you know, it's even more interesting because
Motivate.
if we woke up tomorrow and everybody understood us, it would be ahead. Like, it's like not the cool guy anymore. No, I mean, or if everybody was good, it would be like, so I'm not gonna be the hero one day. Like,
But that's also our own little bubble here. Like, I don't understand medicine or people making rockets or people writing software, you know? So for sure they're having the same conversation. These guys don't understand that code. Yeah, I don't. And it's okay. Like, each of us has the thing we're
yeah,
interested in.
exactly.
But that's also what I think, then when if AI gets really to everybody, that's why I think not everybody's going to be an artist or a creator. Like, it's like digital photography, like extended photography to everybody.
Yeah.
Literally.
The iPhone.
Yeah, you have an iPhone,
it's a
you
better
can shoot a
thing.
campaign.
Yeah,
You
better
can shoot a
than
movie.
anything. But not everybody is an artist or a photographer. And
Yes,
so
that's also, this makes me think of chess, but this is off topic now. Okay.
I have one more question, and then we're going to have to move over to the sustainability workshop. But my question is, because you were talking about taking an API and plugging it in, and you can make your own kind of custom GPT, custom agent to do whatever, and if it works, then, you know, big companies might come and take that idea. I mean, nowadays, you can even just, there's a lot of ideas that exist that are already existing within the ChatGPT store. Like, and a lot of people don't know even of the existence of this store, and it's like able to be accessed by everyone. But
That's
like,
all gonna be native in GPT-6.
Yeah.
Something like that.
my question is like, because you mentioned Google is announcing something, like, where do you look for these new tools, these new technologies to learn about like what's coming out that's new?
I follow him.
Follow me on Twitter, I have 80 followers. And every day, yeah. At least because God gave me this gift of, no, I need to go to the bathroom every day, at least a couple of times, so I check it, and it's like mathematics, you know, there's no way we should skip that moment. So you're always gonna have the greatest news on my Twitter account, which is 700x.
Yeah, can I talk? Like,
Yes, bro.
so I was like thinking that like basically big tech is producing like AI products, right? Like Google or someone else who like all industries are using this big tech product to, for example, for the data analysis and everything else. So basically they can make the products like the possibility for like users to directly consume what they need. For example, 3D, printer for like anything you want. So basically all the companies that are doing something for that industry, and that industry can just disappear. So is it possibility?
Yeah, it's gonna be wild. It's gonna be wild. But yesterday I was seeing the best new TV series by Seth Rogen.
It's good.
The studio.
It's good.
It's genius.
What is
But
it about?
about him being a rich producer in Hollywood and all of his insecurities realized.
That's a lot of what's really happening
Nightmare.
Yeah.
in those
No,
worlds.
it's
It's
genius.
funny. It's
But
funny.
there's an episode in which they argue with the public because one of their movies is made with AI, and there's a girl that's like, we heard that you're using AI and killing like the work of real animators. And I was in the shower this morning and I was thinking, yeah, but basically she took the work of like puppet, you know, I was like, who do you think you are? You know, you had an unfair advantage by recording your drawings and being able to propose it in theaters, while a fucking puppet man, a humble man that did that for all of his life, then saw cartoons be born and all of these people and now those people are being like, they're stealing our job. No, I feel like the human soul always find a way. Like when you see a concrete street, there's always a plant going out. And I feel like we're always gonna find a way to create. Also, I feel like we're gonna look back at the moment in which we are living and we're gonna feel like, shit, this was completely retarded. I mean, I know this is a bad word, but things are gonna be insane in the future. We're gonna look back at photos of people driving, and we're gonna speak to our nephews and be like, yeah, I needed to learn how to fucking drive and learn all of the signs and learn. And if I wanted to go somewhere, I couldn't drink that much because I needed to drive. And they're gonna be like, no way that every time there was somebody going somewhere, there was somebody driving. Like, if you look at books from the past and you're like, no way that people actually wrote them by hand, like, and it wasn't like the fastest life ever. So we are gonna enter a new period of humanity in which things are gonna be smoother and creation is gonna be faster. I mean, now we have fun generating images, but we really need to focus on our subconscious mind because what is an image now with another tool is gonna be from image to 3D, it's gonna be a 3D model, and from 3D model to a 3D printer is gonna be a fucking object in my room in 30 seconds, you know. So what I think I can have it. Yesterday I was sleeping, I was like that, and I started to think about a song that is so cringe, so I'm not saying it. but with the power of my mind, I was sleeping and I was like, Siri, play. And she did it and I was like, I'm God. Okay, I'm God.
What you're talking about now about the public and kind of like this person who spent his whole life doing this, it kind of went back to, for me, like artistic integrity. And like, for example, Miyazaki's work that became the Chinese ChatGPT, and everybody was like doing all these Studio Ghibli pictures and he was completely against it. What do you have to say about that?
About I read the papyrus. There's a famous Egyptian papyrus with this old man writing a letter on his papyrus to his nephew and being like, you guys, you new kids are
bad and everyone is writing a book.
with this new thing that you invent. No. It was from ancient Egypt. It was even that's genius as well. But this is from ancient Egypt, and it was like writing to his nephew and being like, you new kids, after you invented the arachno, which is like this thing to work the ground, you lose all of your strength. The new kids are not like the real men from the past, you know. And this is a pattern that's always gonna be there, always. And I might be there as well when I'm gonna be 70 or 80, and I'm gonna be like, every time I wanted to create something with AI, I needed to think about it, and then I needed to prompt it, and then in the future it's gonna be like, upload my memory, Netflix. So where is this work gonna be at that point? A lot in real life. So there's gonna be, even, you know, with AI automating cars that are gonna be self-driving, you're not gonna have a lot of parking lots, and all of those are gonna become gardens at some point, and we are gonna be able to spend more time together in the garden, blah, blah, blah. And real life is gonna be a big thing. This is why I respect these guys for creating this space, because it's really something that was missing. And this is also gonna be super relevant also in the next 30 years, or 100 or 2000. But I feel like we are always gonna find new ways to create ethically and to... Life finds a way. We're gonna find it. We can chill. You know what's the most used sentence in all of the sacred books from all traditions? Is be not afraid. So yeah, that's it. Chill.